I am Michael Kurosh. I live in Santa Barbara, California, one of the most beautiful places on earth. My design center is where people come to reimagine their homes and spaces. I work with the best designers, clients with broad tastes, and experts who navigate the fascinating world of design. I'm always excited to learn something new, and I never say no to a challenge. This is Design Santa Barbara. Welcome to Design Santa Barbara. Today we are in Cardiff, the largest city in Wales. Cardiff has played a major role in the Industrial Revolution and has significantly contributed to the 19th and 20th century history as we know it. Let's take a look at it and learn a little bit more about it. Cardiff is the capital of Wales and its largest city. Archaeological evidence from sites in and around Cardiff show that people had settled in the area by around 6000 BC. During the early Neolithic age, about 1500 years before either Stonehenge or the Great Pyramid of Giza were completed. Until the Roman conquest of Britain, Cardiff was part of Celtic British tribe that flourished during the Iron Age. Once under Roman rule, a fort was built in the center of present-day Cardiff. Portions of that original fort still stands within Cardiff Castle. Once anti-Roman violence in the region was subdued, the fort was deactivated and the area became a civilian settlement. But several smaller defenses were built along the shoreline to protect people from raiders. With the end of the Roman occupation around the 5th century AD, Wales was split into several small kingdoms. The first recorded ruler of the region, including Cardiff, in this era was named Meurig ap Tudrig. His family ruled Cardiff for over 600 years until the Norman invasion in the 11th century. Meurig's son, Arthurus, is widely considered the inspiration for the legend of King Arthur. With the establishment of a new British throne, King William I of England ordered the construction of a new castle on what was the original Roman fort at Cardiff. This structure stood in one form or another till the Victorian era, when it was remodeled and modernized. From the Middle Ages onward, Cardiff began to grow. By the 1300s, it was the only city in Wales with a population over 3,000. In 1607, Cardiff was nearly destroyed by a tidal wave that flooded the city and was so powerful it diverted nearby rivers. Despite the 18th century being one of great internal conflict for the United Kingdom, Wales and Cardiff remained largely peaceful during this time. In 1793, industrialist John Crichton Stuart, second Marquis of Bute, was born. He spent his life building the Cardiff docks and was later hailed as the creator of modern Cardiff. The docks allowed Cardiff to become a major hub of coal transportation, which in turn caused the city to double in size almost every decade of the 19th century. In the early 20th century, Cardiff truly began to establish itself as the heart of Wales. King Edward VII established the National Museum of Wales and the University of Wales in Cardiff. In 1955, Cardiff was voted the capital of Wales and in 1958 hosted the Commonwealth Games. During Britain's tumultuous late 1970s and early 1980s, Cardiff saw its population decrease for the first time in centuries. But modernization since then has helped the city regain its place among the top locations on the island nation. Today, Cardiff is a bustling city of 350,000 with a vibrant art scene, shopping, food, and some pretty delicious coffee. I hope you enjoyed Cardiff as much as I did. It is a small, little village town and has a magnificent history. Today we are with Miss Sherry Bagai from Sherry B Design, and she's our in-house window and drapery specialist. So, Miss Sherry, viewers had a question as why should they actually use window coverings in their home where they can have it free and open and everybody can, God knows, look in and they can look out. Could you explain?
There are many reasons, obviously, but I'm going to give you 6 important reasons that why having window coverings in the house is beneficial to you. Number 1 is the style. You know, with adding window coverings, you can make a room look formal, informal, contemporary. You can definitely bring a style and a warmth to the room. Second one, probably, I think the most important would be privacy. We all want to have privacy inside the house, so honeycomb shades are perfect. They would let the light in, but nobody can see inside and outside. I think the third most important reason would be the light that comes through. If you don't have any window coverings, your wood floor can get faded, your area rugs can get affected by the lights. The next important one would be the energy cost. Yes. With the window covering, you can make the room cooler, warmer, and definitely helps you with keeping the cost of your electricity and gas low. Last but not least would be how much value it would add to your home. If you're thinking about selling your home, definitely the right window covering, window treatment makes your home more elegant and more desirable.
More representative.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with all of them. And I highly recommend you, if you're looking for window coverings, come see Sherry B at Santa Barbara Design Center and get the right and proper window covering and add to your home and make your life happier.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Welcome back to Design Santa Barbara. This week in appraisals, we have these beautiful textiles that they're chantes, they call it. They come from tribal societies in Iran, and these were made, the Gucci's and the Chanel bags of their time. It was not they could go to the store and buy their own bags, so they made their own carry-on bags. They all used to have a little thread so they can hang it over their shoulders. Over the time, obviously some of them lose it, some they had backings, and some they lose that as well. These are 3 prime examples, and they are highly collectible. We start with the first one. First one is relatively young to the group. That is like around 1910, 1920. Is flat weave. It is woven for northeast Kurdish tribes of Iran, around a state called Khorasan, and it is a flat weave. The lady put quite a lot of effort into making those beautiful colors. Again, it's showing her art to other people around, and it is a wonderful piece. Secondary, we are at, let's show this one here. This is the oldest one of the 3. So this one is from northwest Iran. This tribal people called Shah Sawan area, and they're close to Caucasus Mountains. This is a high elevation. And they have the best wool and colors because the wool has a lot of lanolin, has a lot of sheen. And this particular one, the lady worked the sumac weave. It is a needlework that goes around the warp and weft and creates these beautiful designs with color. It took her a good long time to do this. You can imagine every little dot is a loop, and she goes like that around it. It's, again, I would say 1880s, 1870s, and is a wonderful piece. It has still the original back with it. Nice, wonderful piece. This one is the most exceptional one because after 100 years, it still has the tassels that the lady made for herself, and you look how many colors they are. They live in an arid area, it's dry, it is not very friendly, and color brings life to her surroundings and her environment, and this is what she hung, and she hung it from that little thread. is a little rose flowers in the middle. This lady put probably the husband's name, possibly. It says Ali, and is written all around this, and little tiny writings. She did the most wonderful job. We have at the top, we have sumacs, we have another sumac here, then we have the pile here, we have a kilim. So she has a lot of different techniques mastered. Has the original back, is the most wonderful thing. So I would appraise them as collectible items. So I would appraise this particular one, is the youngest one, for $500. The sumac is rare and the condition is just marvelous, and it is good 40 years, 50 years older than that one, and I would appraise this for $2,500. This particular one is out of this world. I have not seen another one in this condition, this shape, and this colors, about $5,000. So it's a big difference between a one that is really good, really nice, and the one that's exceptional. So come and see it at Santa Barbara Design Center. That was today's appraisals. See you next week on Design Santa Barbara. We live in one of the most beautiful locations in the world. I've raised my kids here. I love it here. What we offer at Santa Barbara Design Center isn't just furniture. It's a chance to turn a house into a home. What may look like a deal online, it's very different when it shows up. It's something to be said for feeling it before it becomes part of your life. We are here to help guide you through this wonderful process. We are Santa Barbara Design Center. Come start your journey with us. Welcome to Design Santa Barbara. I'm Michael Courage, and today we are taking a very special drive up the California coast to learn about the history and the design that has made the Golden State an icon. Let's go. Our journey today starts at the southernmost point of the California coast in San Diego. Known as the birthplace of California, San Diego is the site of the first European settlement on the Pacific coast. Here in 1542, Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo claimed the region for Spain and established what would come to be known as Alta California. Throughout the centuries, San Diego changed hands from Spain to Mexico to the California Republic and eventually the United States. Today, it is the 8th largest city in the US and is home to some of the most beautiful architecture on the West Coast. San Diego's San Isidro crossing, connecting the city of Tijuana, Mexico, is the 4th most used land border in the world and the most used in the Western Hemisphere. San Diego's distinctive Spanish Baroque building style comes from the 1915 Panama, California World Exposition. Many of these buildings can still be seen today in Balboa Park. San Diego is known for its world-class entertainment, including theme parks, museums, and its stylish gas lamp district. Downtown San Diego is a bustling metropolis with a modern skyline and seaport. Across a massive bridge, San Diego connects with Coronado Island. Here you will find the world-famous Hotel del Coronado. Opened in 1888, this grand structure served as the inspiration for L. Frank Baum's Emerald City in The Wizard of Oz. Baum lived across the island from the hotel and could see its lights from his porch. He even helped design the chandeliers in the hotel's dining room. The Hotel del Coronado can also be seen in the iconic Marilyn Monroe comedy, Some Like It Hot. San Diego is also known for its importance to the United States Navy. San Diego Bay is naturally deep, which makes the city ideal for submarines and larger vessels. As we continue up the coast from San Diego, we pass through several resort communities, including Del Mar, known for its iconic racetrack. Our drive features some of the most beautiful ocean views in the world as we head north towards Los Angeles. Crossing the demarcation line into Orange County means we are in one of the wealthiest communities in America. Here you will find Laguna Beach, Newport Beach, and Huntington Beach. These picturesque communities are havens for artists, surfers, and those seeking a calmer pace. Just north is the city of Anaheim. Once nothing more than orange groves, the development of Disneyland in the mid-1950s turned this quiet Los Angeles suburb into one of the most visited locations on earth. Disneyland now welcomes close to 20 million people annually. Heading into Los Angeles, we find ourselves at the port in Long Beach. This commercial hub is one of the busiest in the world and is the key transit point for a vast amount of America's imports and exports. This is also the location of the Queen Mary. Once one of the grandest ocean liners ever built, it is now permanently moored at the port of Long Beach and serves as a hotel and resort. Much like the Hotel del Coronado, the Queen Mary has frequently been used as a location for movies and television shows set on ocean liners. As we head farther up the coast into Los Angeles, we pass LAX, one of the busiest airports in the world, transporting over 88 million people annually. Heading north, we arrive at Santa Monica. Here at the entrance to the world-famous pier, we find what was once the beginning of the fabled Route 66. Or, if you were heading from Chicago, this was the end of the line. Going inland slightly puts us in one of the most iconic locations on earth, Hollywood. With the iconic Walk of Fame, hand and footprints in cement, and those fabled studio gates, Hollywood is where the magic of the movies has been centered for over 100 years. Directly adjacent is Beverly Hills, home to the stars and some of the most expensive real estate imaginable. As we get back onto Highway 1, heading up the California coast, our next stop is Malibu. Formerly a quiet beach town, Malibu has become a center of fashion, cuisine, and luxury. From Malibu to Ventura County, you will find one of the most beautiful coastal drives you have ever seen. As we continue north, the urban sprawl of Los Angeles gives way to fields of agriculture. California is known as the breadbasket of America, providing more agricultural output than any other state in the Union. In this area, we start to encounter grapevines. The Central California Coast wine region produces some of the finest wines on the market today, including the delicate but powerful Pinot Noir. Our next stop on this journey up the coast is, of course, Santa Barbara. As we enter Santa Barbara, we pass through Montecito, with its incredible, sprawling estates that we have been so fortunate to feature on this show. Some are on the beach, while others hug the mountains. Many are simply stunning in design and feature incredible views as well. Entering Santa Barbara, I can't help but stop at my favorite spot, Santa Barbara Design Center. If you watch this show, you know how much I love Santa Barbara. We have had the pleasure of exploring its architecture, history, design, and so much more. Taking a drive through Santa Barbara never gets old for me. We are so lucky to call this place home. Heading farther up the coast from Santa Barbara, we find ourselves deeper in wine country. This area was made famous by the Academy Award-winning film Sideways. It is also known for its connection to space exploration over the last 60 years. Vandenberg Space Force Base is the primary West Coast launch site for NASA and more recently SpaceX. The missile ranges were visited by President Kennedy in the early days of the space race, and in recent years, Elon Musk has been seen watching his company's rocket launches and landings. Vandenberg was once also going to be the site of space shuttle launches, but the loss of the Challenger shuttle in the 1980s caused that plan to be cancelled. Continuing up the coast, we will find ourselves passing through Santa Maria, namesake of its famous tri-tip barbecue. Be sure to try some while you are there. Farther up the coast is a mixture of agriculture and small surf communities, leading to one of the most impressive architectural feats of the 20th century. On the coast near San Simeon, we pass by Hearst Castle, built by media magnate William Randolph Hearst and designed by Julia Morgan. This vast estate once played host to the world's biggest names. Today it's a museum and historical center. Our next stop on this incredible journey is Big Sur. This epic stretch of highway actually attracts the same number of annual visitors as Yosemite National Park and is known for its rugged, rocky coastlines and lengthy hiking trails. From Big Sur, we find ourselves entering Monterey Bay. Here, visitors can enjoy fresh seafood on Cannery Row and trace the footsteps of iconic authors such as Jack London and John Steinbeck. Not far from Monterey is Carmel. This village is known for its tranquility. It is the site of several spas and is a frequent getaway spot for visitors from both Northern and Southern California. On the other side of Monterey Bay is Santa Cruz. Here you will find the boardwalk made famous by the cult classic 80s film The Lost Boys. Just a short drive from Santa Cruz, we enter San Francisco Bay. Last season, we explored the history and design of this beautiful city and its surrounding regions. I encourage you to check it out. Crossing the Golden Gate Bridge and heading towards Northern California, we have 2 stops left on our road trip. In Napa Valley, you will find the Northern California complement to Central California's wine region. There are countless wineries where you can stop in and sample some varietals. Lastly, as we head towards the border with Oregon, we find the iconic California redwoods. These ancient trees are massive in size and can only be truly appreciated by walking through them yourselves. Naturally, there are more locations up and down the California coast that we didn't have time to visit. But what makes that exciting is knowing you can go find them yourself. So, what are you waiting for? Take a road trip, have an adventure. You will be glad you did. Welcome to Design Santa Barbara. Today we have a new series we are going to introduce. World Heritage Sites. Today we are at Stonehenge. This is a prehistoric site and we are going to learn more about its incredible history. Stonehenge is a prehistoric monument on Salisbury Plain in Wiltshire, England, 2 miles west of Amesbury. It consists of an outer ring of vertical sarsen standing stones, each around 13 feet high and 7 feet wide. Each stone weighs around 25 tons and are topped by connecting horizontal lintel stones. Inside is a ring of smaller blue stones. Inside these are freestanding trilithons, 2 bulkier vertical sarsens joined by 1 lintel. The whole monument, now ruinous, is aligned toward the sunrise on the summer solstice. The stones are set within earthworks in the middle of the densest complex of Neolithic and Bronze Age monuments in England, including several hundred burial mounds. Archaeologists believe the Stonehenge was constructed from 3000 BC to 2000 BC. The surrounding circular earth bank and ditch, which constitute the earliest phase of the monument, have been dated to about 3100 BC. One of the most famous landmarks in the United Kingdom, Stonehenge is regarded as British cultural icon. It has been a registered historic site since the late 1800s. The site and its surroundings were added to UNESCO's list of World Heritage Sites in 1986. Stonehenge is owned by the British Crown and managed by English Heritage. The surrounding land is owned by the National Trust. In 2019, over 1.6 million people visited Stonehenge. Stonehenge was constructed by a culture that left no writing records. Many aspects of Stonehenge, such as how it was built and for what purposes it was used, remain subject to debate. A number of myths surround the stones. The site is aligned to the sunset of the winter solstice and the opposing sunrise of the summer solstice. The heel stone lies northeast of the Sarsen Circle, beside the end portion of the Stonehenge Avenue. It is a rough stone 16 feet above ground, leaning inwards toward the stone circle. It has been known by many names in the past. including Friar's Hill and Sunstone. At the summer solstice, an observer standing within this stone circle, looking northeast through the entrance, would see the sun rise in the approximate direction of the hill stone, and the sun has often been photographed over it. Part of Britain's iconic Arthurian legend states that King Arthur's father, Uther Pendragon, aided by Merlin's magic, brought the stones from Ireland to England. From the 1500s onward, the mystery of Stonehenge inspired artists to paint the location. This allowed for a somewhat accurate documentation of the stone's collapse through the centuries. With the invention of photography, the stones entered British lore even more. The land on which they stood changed hands several times throughout the 17th, 18th, and 19th centuries. In 1915, they were purchased for £6,000, and 3 years later, the owner gifted them to the crown. In the 1920s, the first modern effort to restore Stonehenge was undertaken. During the 20th century, Stonehenge became a site of great travel interest. For a fee, visitors could walk through the stones and some even climbed them. This led to considerable deterioration, and in the late 1970s, they were roped off. After a long legal battle, modern Druids were able to argue that Stonehenge is in fact a church and therefore access cannot be restricted. Now, upwards of 10,000 people come to the stones to witness the solstice and equinox every year. Stonehenge is also commonly referenced in popular culture, from Thomas Hardy's classic novel Test of the D'Urberville to the hit modern book series and television show Outlander. These ancient stones excite the minds of millions around the globe. What may attract people most to Stonehenge is the mystery behind them. After centuries of study, we still don't know its true purpose, and new information is discovered every day. In January of 2022, ancient tools dating back over 10,000 years were found at the site. One can only imagine what will be discovered in the future. I hope you enjoyed this visit to Stonehenge. Again, a World Heritage Site and an important one at that.